Hello, this is Shannon of Ebonygeek45. We're going to start doing a little bit more with operators. If I haven't told you before, we have libraries available to us in order to deal with certain things, and I think I told you guys about the include string before. We've been doing the IO stream, which allows us to use C in and C out and a couple other things. There's also an include for math. And if you're planning on doing programming and you're planning on using math, then that is something you will want to get familiar with because it has things that you could use and not have to program and reinvent the wheel and all that. So just making you aware of that option. The stuff that we've been doing haven't been requiring it, but sometimes if you do go deep into the math, it will. Also, I'm not a pro by any means, and I'm not claiming to be. What I'm doing is trying to relearn C++ and the stuff I remember. And what you could always know is that the examples that I'm going to give you is going to be clear, crisp code. It will always run right, and I'll do my best to set it up as neat as possible, and it's and have you understand it as much as you can, or as well as I could explain it. So, in an effort to get better at that, I'm going to go ahead and try to label the sections of what I'm doing. And so right now, what we're going to be doing here at the top in our main is declaring our variables. Okay, and actually I'm going to initialize them here too for this tutorial. And we're going to be doing int1, and we're going to make it equal to 22 here, and then we're going to do int2, and we're going to make this one also equal to 22. Angie V spoke with me again, and she was trying to actually, how shall I say it, simplify the super simple adding code that we did earlier. And she got a little mixed up, as I would put it. What she did was she was trying to use this plus as this minus as this times is this, and the division is that. And they're not really, to put it right, these two lines does different things. This line calculates, and then you assign whatever the total is to the variable. And then if you went to another line to calculate, it's gonna calculate it and assign it. It's not gonna store it. Okay, and when you use an operator like this, what it's gonna do is gonna calculate one number with another number, and whatever variable to its left is what it's gonna assign that variable. And you will see exactly what I'm talking about in a minute. So let's go ahead and start out, and we're gonna put a description of what we're doing here. And okay, now in using shorthand form makes a running calculations is exactly how I think of these operators. So let's go ahead and end our line here. Alright, and let's get to our first example, and this is going to be the plus equal, and let's go ahead and do I2, because that's what we're dealing with. This is how we're typing it out. Normally if we was using this, we would have to do something like have another variable which would be our total. Wait a minute, we'll make it an int, and then we'll do a total, and then we'll go equals uh 22 plus 22. And so we will be putting our line saying that we want to add this and this, and we're going to store it in total. With the shorthand form, you're not doing that. What you're doing is you're dealing with I1 and I2, and then whatever the total of the two is going to be stored in I1. And I'm hoping you see the difference here. So let's go ahead and print out another line, and we're going to explain what we're doing here. And it's going to say addition 22 plus 22 equals 44. And I'm sure you guys know that. And then we're going to put some tabs here. Alright, and then we put our variable, and then we're going to end a line. Alright, and let's go ahead and run that. Okay, I made a boo-boo, and let's see what the boo-boo is. 1 plus 2 was not clear in the scope. And what did I do here? Oh, we didn't put. Okay. This is what happened when you don't have your coffee in the morning. Okay. So checking it, as you see, we do have it right now. Let's go ahead and save it. Let's run it. And so what we're showing here plainly is addition 22 plus 22 equals 44, and that's our result that we're showing. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this in order to save some time and some typing, save you guys from dealing with my horrendous typing this morning. And let's do our minus here. Okay, and then let's change this plus sign to minus. And of course we know 22 minus 22 is 0. And then we're dealing with our I1 again. Now, you may think that that's how it's going to go, because of the simple fact that that's how it normally goes when you're dealing with I1 and I2. But as you remember, now that I2 has did its calculations up here with I1, and we have the total, it is now storing 44 in the variable I1. So now it's saying that this 22 is now 44. Okay, and then it's gonna minus the 22, and it's gonna actually be 22. You see? And let's go ahead and run it to prove it. And let me close my box I never closed. Okay. And as you can see, because it did its calculations here, and then it is stored its total in I1, then when we went to use I1 again for the minus, then we have 44 here. Okay, so I'm hoping you see that by using this, it's different from using this. If you're trying to make a calculator or something, you need to stick with this here. And that is where she got really mixed up. And it does the same thing with let's see, since we went through this much of it, let's go ahead and go down the line. And Let's get it formatted right. Alright, so at this point we have 22. So we have to change it to 22. And this time we're doing times. Okay. And see, what I'm doing is giving you an example for plus, minus, times, divide, and I'm going to do a modulus too. Okay, so but now we're working on times. And you got to remember, since our total is now stored as 22 and I1, then what we're doing here is 22, and that's going to be 22 times 22, and that's going to be something like 484, I'm pretty sure. And let's go ahead and keep everything clear. Put our subtraction here and put our multiplication here to show clearly what we're doing. Okay, and don't quote me on this. I think 22 times 22 is 484. I need to have my morning coffee. Okay, so let's see. Let's run it. Okay, and as you can see, our multiplication is showing that 22 times 22 equals 484. I was right. Okay, so let's go ahead and quickly do division and modulus. Okay, and I hope that you see the pattern. As I said, it does a running calculation, and that's why you can't use these operators as a calculator type thingy, but they are very useful for certain things, and that's why we have them. And they're pretty nice to use because they're actually shortcuts, and you try to use shortcuts whenever you can because your coding could go long sometimes. Okay, and let's go ahead and change this up. This time we're doing the division, and this time we're doing the modulus here. Okay, and let's go ahead and title them right. And then this is modulus. Okay, and let's go ahead and get our numbers right. This is 484 divided by 22. I'm gonna think that's gonna be 22. Again, don't quote me on it. And then if I'm right, then that should make modulus very easy. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. Close my box here and run it. Okay. And other than, the format not being quite there, the last one that we did, division, it was 44 divided by 22, and it did equal 22. And modulus being 22 divided by 22 modulus 22 equals 0. And my main point to this whole tutorial is don't get these two confused. They do different things, and so you can't use them in the same context, but they're both useful in their own context. So Angie V, that's why your calculations was coming all different when you were trying to simplify the calculator code. Um, you can go back and improve your code as you go along, but make sure that what you're improving your code with is not actually hindering your code. Okay, so I'm gonna end this tutorial, and I hope I explained it right. If you have any questions, please do comment me, and I will give my input. And this code will be added to the site so that you can, see it firsthand, and do experiment with this so that you will learn it well, because you will be using it down the line, these type of calculations as well as these type of calculations. And I'm gonna say good luck and happy coding. Bye bye.